Hey, this is Draco Eclectic back on another video. So with this one, I sort of ran out of ideas for what I wanted to do with this. I had sort of a gimmicky type plan for this episode to be my third one of the week, and things didn't pan out. I feel like I got kind of wordy with it. I just like went on and started talking in circles. I have a real problem with I'm only able to really focus on one thing at a time. So if I'm trying to like play a game while I'm also trying to address the audience, sometimes I get kind of, you know, twisted up. So I figured what I was going to do here is just talk over some of the footage from the tutorial levels of RoboBuild? RoboCraft? Main Assembly. Main Assembly is this one. So talk over the main assembly tutorial video that I talked about in the actual main assembly video. But basically, I just wanted to kind of get it out there that I might not have a lot of content at the time of making this video, and I'm trying to get more out there, trying to improve the quality of my videos, quality of the content I'm providing. But in general, I'm working under the real goal here of trying to make sure that I can get things out. You know, my schedule I want to hit of 3 times a week, and I feel like I can commit to that. I feel like that's something I can achieve, but it's a little stressful, you know. This week that I'm recording this is literally the day that I'm recording this is the same day that this video will be uploaded, and this week has just been difficult for me. I've been basically recording a video, watching the video, and the day after I go back in and edit the video after having watched over the footage. Like when I watch over the footage, I just write down my timestamps, write down when I would like the clip to end, when I would like the clip to start, any special situations such as speeding up the footage, slowing down the footage, gets handled at that time, as well as muting my microphone, because sometimes you get a little bit of background noise. I think I need to get a different computer chair because it kind of like squeaks and rattles a little bit. I also want to see about positioning the microphone a little bit better. I think it's a little too close to my keyboard, so a lot of times that kind of stuff is going through, and maybe not the most appealing thing to hear over the video. It is just like a cheap microphone off Amazon with like a pop filter on it, but I think the audio quality comes through okay with it, so I'm pretty happy with it. But back to the bases. When I initially started uploading, I had actually recorded quite a lot before that. I had gotten, I want to say probably 10 or 12 separate videos together, actually in Scrap Mechanic specifically, complete like front to back video, and I had issues where I lost audio. I had issues where I had lost video, like had no video output at all. There were instances where the rendering, the actual recording, I'm currently using OBS, the recording was not at the level that I wanted. So like right now we're recording, I believe 1080p is my recording, and then the audio is pretty good, honestly. I'm not really sure what that's set at. I had that kind of dialed in though with OBS just to get like the levels right. same thing. Like this video that we have in the background here, this main assembly video, the audio was trash. One major roadblock that I had was I was recording and it was on one stream for the audio of the game and for my microphone. And in main assembly, it is fairly loud out of the gate. Scrap Mechanics sound level is very low. So with main assembly, I was using Scrap Mechanics setup thinking, oh, well, it's just going to work. And it sounded great through my headset, but at the time I was also using a different headset. I was using, I believe, some JBL Bluetooth from Target or something. It's still a great headset. I still use it for like when I'm out and about, but I swapped to this is a, shoot, it's not even on here. Oh, there it is. Bayer Dynamic is what I'm using. One of the open back style, like professional headphone sets. Not normally the choice that YouTubers, streamers, or anybody really goes for, but they're ultra comfortable, totally worth the money in my case. But yeah, I got that squared away, so that made it a lot easier, because with them being open back headphones, what traditionally people think of when they think of like over-the-ear headphones, you think, oh yeah, they're these big goofy things, you put them on and you can't hear the outside world. Open back is totally different. It's like a mesh basically, so I can, right now, the way that I'm talking, I can hear myself the same as I would any other time I'm talking. When I'm, out at work or out talking with people. It doesn't really affect my volume range, it doesn't affect my clarity, so I can hear myself without feeling kind of disjointed and feeling like I'm sort of muffled, as it were. So this is working good. The thing that really was like a kick in the butt a little bit with this was when I started realizing kind of the scope of what's required to be able to start getting into this kind of stuff. For anybody that's actually interested in attempting to do this, because I'm not, by no means am I an expert, I'm not going to claim to be one, but need a lot of stuff. For all intents and purposes, I built this computer. The current computer that I'm using is my first desktop build since, I want to say, probably 2007. So we're, 10, 12, 13 years out is when this was recorded since then. And this computer I've had for about a year. Built, I want to say probably starting in like March of 2020 is when I started this build, with some very interesting situations that actually arose with that. But if you want to get into streaming, you need a powerful computer. If you want to get into recording, rather, I'm not sure if I want to do streaming or not yet, but you need a powerful computer, and that was sort of my goal, was to build something ridiculous, because I intended to just have something for VR, which, it works great for that. But as far as, recording, you need a decent processor, something with multiple cores, high level, a lot of RAM. I think we're 32 or 64 gigs of RAM here, and high quality video card. I use the NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti, I think is what this one is. This was before the 3 series released, and I was, I'm that guy who bought this thing when when the 3 series was announced, so a little behind the times in that respect. But again, I built this with the intention of just running VR, so it just had like a small hard drive and stuff. But when I decided that I actually wanted to get into recording with YouTube and possibly streaming, developing with 3D modeling and stuff, if I wanted to try and create things and sell them in the real world, I figured the best course of action was to have a good large hard drive, which I ended up with. I believe this is a 12 terabyte is my standby drive to hold all my videos and do all my editing. And with that and the processor I'm using and the RAM and everything's been going swimmingly. Like my render times for my average videos run about 30 minutes, so I let it go. I go watch TV and come back and the thing's completed, so that's wonderful. Upload times, depending on your internet connection, you need to have very good internet to be able to do this. I feel bad for anybody that has to wait. Whoa! Ow, I hit something there. I feel bad for anybody that has to wait a long time for these to get videos uploaded. Like for me, the render takes longer than it does to upload. It takes maybe 15 minutes, and I think I go in here. What was my last one that I just did? The last one I did was the main assembly video, which ended up with a final video size of... No, that's not it. The Blender file. Where did the video go? There it is. So with a final video size of 2.85 gigabytes for the main assembly video. The scrap mechanic videos generally run in between 1 and like 2 gig at the most, because they're a lot shorter. That was the main assembly video. I didn't intend on it being quite that long, but it ended up running 40 minutes. I didn't even get a chance to even like look at that one. I was so burned out from that video that when I went to like editing, I didn't even get a chance to like rewatch the thing, so I didn't even get to see if there's any glitches or anything in there at all. But I don't know, it's been entertaining, you know. But before I'd gotten into this, I do a lot of 3D modeling. I was actively involved in a game that's called Spring RTS, where I was sort of introduced to 3D modeling. I was making, at the time they were called mods. They were basically, you were trying to make like your own game to run inside of this game engine. And I, got my start in 3D modeling there using Wings, which I still use to this day. I don't really know why I still do, but at this point I feel like I've gotten to be the sort of the premier expert of using Wings for purposes that it probably wasn't necessarily designed for, because I use it for 3D printing, I use it for any kind of design. I can even like show a little, I'm probably going to just throw up a little image right here just to show, for example, like what I'm working on in the background that I'm going to try to hopefully get this little background picture. I'm going to try and get a video with this out eventually when the project is completed. This is as I said in the main assembly video, I think I said that this was a tail light, like an LED tail light housing holder, as it were, for my project car that I'm working on. So hopefully I get that up soon, because that's kind of something interesting to me. But yeah, it's been, other than the stress, running night through night, trying to get stuff edited, rendered, recorded, that was not a cycle I'd recommend getting into. What I'm going to attempt to do, hopefully this weekend, is just to relax for a bit before anything starts. Get in 3 recordings on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, and at least watch through them maybe the same time or watch through them the day after to get them edited and ready for Monday. Get a good upload on at least one by Sunday, so that I can not get into this vicious cycle of recording in the week, because that's almost impossible. The recording might take like an hour to get a 15-minute video. In some of the scrap mechanic videos, I might have put in 2-3 hours into the video and gotten 20 minutes of usable content. It's not really quite the same as main assembly, where I felt like I could really kind of explore that a lot better and just show more of, basically show my work. Oh, I really screwed that one up on here, didn't I? Like belly flopped. Such a cool looking game. But, and one of the things I do want to work on, I want to get a video capture card, like an HDMI capture card, because I want to move my PlayStation 3 into the recording area here so that I can actually capture from that. I have, for some of the like console games, I want to get some of my older games up on recording. I'm debating on whether I'm actually going to be doing a video on Team Buddies, which is something that I have a disc for. That's what's considered a real-time tactics game. It's sort of like a lot of my other stuff, honestly. It's kind of weird. You control this little soldier guy, and you go and pick up blocks and assemble them into, you know, this little build area, like 2x1, 2x2, you know, into making different shapes, and that makes like guns or tanks or more characters for you to, you know, more infantry, as it were, to help you in the game. But it's a little bit crass, so I don't know how the audio is going to work with that, if I'm going to have to mute that, or maybe there's a different setting in there or something. But one of the stipulations I'm going to have here, if I'm doing any console type game, well, any game in general, but consoles specifically are where this is gonna happen. If I'm playing it, it's going to be on original or near original hardware. In the case of the PS3, that's going to serve as the PS2 and PS1. I have the GameCube, I have the Genesis, any of that stuff. So any of the games that I want to explore, I'm gonna have type for type hardware. I'm not gonna do emulators. I'm not gonna, you know, just download a file and throw it up on the computer and run it. That's not what I want to do. That's not kosher in my eyes. I don't want to do that. It's going to be run on legit hardware, and it's going to look the way that it was supposed to look. If I need to upsample it a little bit, so be it. But what I want to get done is I really want to have it be where I have, say, the first day of the week, scrap mechanic. The second day of the week is something else, maybe that I'm continuing, or something new that I'm starting. And the third day of the week, I want to have, ideally, the third day of the week I want to have as sort of my retro replays, or, you know, classic unedited videos where I'm doing the retro games like that. You know, hopefully just something a little bit easier to work with, but just to, you know, showcase different things that I'm interested in, different things that I have in my collection that I'm interested in sharing with people, because I know a lot of the things that I'm into maybe aren't mainstream, but maybe you haven't heard of them. Maybe you're interested in seeing them. Maybe it makes for a good video. I don't know what makes for a good video yet. I'm not even 10 videos in here yet, but I'm gonna try. You know, I'm working at this. I'm trying to get better. I feel like my editing skills are getting pretty okay. I started with no editing ability at all and no idea how anybody does this stuff, to the level now where at least I know how to do the cuts. I know how to bring over the audio. I think I can get a little smoother on the audio. I noticed that it's sort of jarring how it just drops off, or sometimes the scenes don't exactly cut right. And I found in my rendering, in my editing software that I use, that I can actually set it to show me the where the heck is it? Oh, I don't have the audio on this one, right? Show me the waveform so that I can see when I'm talking, when it cuts out, when I'm done talking, that kind of stuff, to kind of make it sound a little better. But I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the result I'm getting so far. I feel like I'm putting in a good effort. I feel like I'm getting a pretty decent result, and I'm enjoying myself. I mean, I get to play games that I may have specifically set aside just to be able to do recordings on, like with Main Assembly here, which I bought and I've had for 5-6 months now, maybe, and I just haven't played it because I wanted to sort of give this fresh experience to something that I haven't played much of. You know, when I did my video, it was literally the one in the background here was my prior experience with the game. So I didn't want it to seem like I'm faking anything with it. I wanted to actually share the experience, as it were. But you know, I'm pretty happy with the result I'm getting, honestly. Like, I think my video quality looks pretty good. My audio quality is pretty decent. I'm getting things set up the way that I want. I feel like I'm getting it to look and feel kind of the way I want. I don't think I'm doing too bad at that. I know my thumbnails are pretty terrible, but two-dimensional art's never really been my strong point. Art has never really been my strong point. Really more of a brick and mortar architect, square blocks and bevel curves and such. That's always been my thing. But you know, I'm happy with what I'm getting out of this. So that was just a short, you know, me rambling. But hopefully hopefully you kept you entertained. Maybe this proved a little bit insightful to the process, and well, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.